If we are providing you a service like Gmail, which we have done for 15 years, that data, we need to store it for our users, so they expect us to.
Recently, Google has been in and out of a lot of controversies, and the last one was related to location tracking, where we discovered that even if we turn off the location button on our Android phones, Google would still be able to track us.
And this was only recent times. Google has made a lot of mistakes concerning our data and trust. So if you ever thought of removing Google from your smartphone, great, because you, my friend, are not alone. Hey friends, this is CJ from FastBuys.com, and today I'll be telling you some different ways to de-Google your smartphone. I'll also be talking about few alternatives for Google services that you can easily use on your Android device. So stay tuned till the end. Now without any further ado, let's get started.
Google might be big and strong, but there are many ways to shun Google from your Android device. We'll start with the easiest one, that is blinding Google. It's not a term, it's just something that I came up with. Anyway, it basically means hiding yourself and your phone from Google. And yes, it can be a difficult task, not because it's tough to hide from Google, but because there are so many options that need to be toggled off. So we'll quickly discuss all of them, starting with Google tracking.
For those who don't know, Google by default tracks our location, search queries, device information, etc. But keep listening and you will be able to turn off all the settings.
Just head over to your Android settings, then Google, tap on your account, and then go to Data tab and toggle off all the options under the web and app activity. Here you will notice how Google pitches the grand idea of personalized experience.
Now, I'm not denying that the Google Assistant isn't great or the web sync isn't helpful, but the point I'm trying to make is what data sacrifices are we making on a continuous basis for these so-called personalized experiences.
Let's take up an example of your travels. Now, Google already knows your flight details and accommodation details, but where's the full stop? In no time, you will start getting ads related to your whole travel itinerary. So if this data sacrifice concerns you even a bit, then while you're on the Google account page, don't forget to clear all your Google activity. What this will do is, it will clear all the search data Google has on you, hopefully. Since it's about hiding from Google, I don't think keeping the Google Sync enabled would be a wise choice. So let's disable that too. For that, you will need to go to your Google account and toggle off all the apps and services.
The final step would be getting rid of Google Apps. Now, I know for many of you, it can be a little tough because apps like Google Assistant and the Google Chrome are the daily drivers. But let's face it, Android without Google cannot happen if Google Apps are not done with.
So you can uninstall or disable Google Apps depending upon the device. Now, this is the point where Google draws the line because there are many phones which don't let you remove Google Apps in any manner. Basically, at this point, Google Apps turn into bloatware, a term coined for pre-installed apps that cannot be removed from the phone through standard ways. If you are stuck at this step, what you can do is read our article on how to remove bloatware from Android. Also comment below if you want me to make a video on that.
Moving on to a bit severe step that you can follow for removing Google or Google Apps, basically anything you want out of the device. That is rooting Android. Now rooting is fun for people who know about it and a disaster for those who don't. The fun part includes messing with apps, which in our case are the Google apps, installing different Android flavors, aka custom ROMs and more. The disaster part of it is that it can also do some irreversible damages. For one, if rooting steps are not followed precisely, it may break your phone. And not to mention the fact that rooting smartphones immediately voids your device warranty. But if you're ready to take the risk involved, then you can use this step to remove Google from your smartphone. I've mentioned some good links on rooting in the description below.
If rooting is a bit too much, then let's talk about a last method to remove Google from your device, and that is resetting it. Now I know resetting Android phone can be a bit of a pain, especially when using Google Backup is simply out of the question. But as an alternative, there are hundreds of backup apps on Play Store that do the same thing as Google Backup, so you can use them instead. Coming back to resetting the device, once you do it, just make sure you untick all the Google services which the device asks at the beginning. Otherwise, you will again have to deal with disabling all of them. Also, Google apps will still be there, so you will have to remove them manually.
So this was all about eradicating Google from your life. It doesn't matter if you root the device, reset it, or simply turn the Google services off. Just make sure you have some good Google alternatives in place. Here's a quick list of Google alternatives that I like to use.
For Google Play Store, I would recommend APK Mirror. It has millions of apps on the platform and doesn't require a Google sign-up. The only problem with APK Mirror is that it's a website, so whenever you need to download an app, you will have to use the browser. And don't go on and start using the Google browser. Instead, I would say you should install the Tor browser. It's one of the best browsers when it comes to data security. As for Google search, DuckDuckGo is one of the best alternatives in my opinion. It doesn't track your search queries and especially doesn't give your data to advertisers. For other Google services like Google Maps, Assistant, etc., there are hundreds of apps available on APK Mirror. By the way, F-Droid is also a good choice as a Google Play Store alternative.
Now, I'll advise you to look for Google apps beforehand. Otherwise, searching for good apps will get real tiresome. So this was all about how to remove Google from your smartphone. If you found this video helpful, then do give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Also, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a video from us. Okay friends, see you later.